Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Inside the Den. Now today we're going to take a look at Faxion Online. Now this is a free-to-play 3D fantasy MMORPG, but it has some pretty cool elements, and essentially it's based in the battle between heaven and hell. And we're going to see how that battle plays out and how those two factions work. As you can see, I've got one character started on the hell side. We're going to go ahead and one of the cool things is right out of the gate you see the game has kind of its own quote-unquote like art style as far as the characters are concerned. And you can see it's even got, you know, some comic stuff like that. You can see you can buy a third character slot with the buy me, and you know they want you to create another character. So come on, princess. All right, well, we're going to do it. We're going to jump in and we're going to create a new character so you guys can see exactly how the creation works. Now, the basics of the creation are very simple. You essentially have two factions warring on either side of Purgatory, essentially. And the two factions obviously are heaven and hell, and each side has a complementary a class that complements each other. So you've got the Reaver and the Crusader, which are essentially like your warrior or your tank style class, and then you've got the Guardian and the Zealot, excuse me, which are essentially your healer classes and your support classes. And then you've got the Occultist and the Diviner, which are your long-range DPS caster type character class. Now, I'm guessing that later on that the game will have more classes, but we're going to go ahead and go with the Crusader to start. And you can choose male or female. It's really funny. You see how, like I said, it has kind of its own art style. Take a look at with the male. I mean, he is just gigantic. So it's pretty funny to see how the males work. And each different class kind of has its own kind of build to them, like body build. But we're going to go with a female. We're going to stick with the Crusader, and you've got 4 head styles that you could choose from. Not a lot, but enough. And the only thing that I kind of am disturbed by is as you change these, you have to wait. See, like I can't click again. You have to wait until it fully loads up before you can actually choose the next one. So let's get through these. I'm actually going to go with one. It's going to take me a little while to cycle back around, so there we go. Then you've got these kind of almost like a color wheel that you can choose your skin tone, and then you've got a few different hairstyles and stuff like that. And we can zoom in and take a look at that. We're going to kind of put our hair like dark like that. And you got wacky, and you know there's a bunch of them. I'm not going to spend too much time there because, like I said, you have to wait for each of them to load up, and I don't want to really do that. I want to show you guys the actual gameplay. So let's go ahead and name my character and accept, and let's get started. So we're going to jump in, and the first place that the game is going to put us is into a little tutorial area. And the nice thing about the tutorial is it gives you kind of the basic understanding of how the game works. And to be truthful, the game is not much different than most of your other free-to-play MMORPGs, as the game's commands are pretty standard and things like that. Now, one weird graphical glitch is I don't know why this is actually up here and not all the way down there. Can't figure that one out, but you know what? It might be just something that they need to fix. So here's the first guy, tutorial, savior of the noobs. So we're going to talk to him, get the quest that he has for us. He wants us to head over here and talk to the heaven identifier. We're going to talk to her and basically let me look at you, let me peer into your soul and see what you're all about. Speak to the identifier, complete. And then she gives us another quest, head over to the outfitter. So we're going to cruise over this way and talk to the outfitter. Now, one thing that I like with a lot of different games is, you know, I can go into the quest log here, and I can just right click and cruise over to the the character that I'm supposed to talk to. Now, I know you can't do that, but at least I could take and I could see the character here, and I could left click or right click, and I would just run over to them or talk to them from a distance. And that's one thing that I can't do here. Now, it may seem like a very simple thing, but it's always nice to be able to do that because I like it, you know, when I'm a little bit far away from that character, I can always take and I can click on them, my character will run over to them, and while that's happening, I'll do other stuff like arranging my bags or setting skills, you know, or setting up hotbars, or there's other things that I usually do while my character's just cruising along, or, you know, do whatever, pick my nose, who cares? So it's always nice to be able to do that, and that's one disappointment is that I'm not able to do that. But here's another character in the game, Dedro. Let's talk to John Paul IV. If I remember correctly, that's actually the last Pope. So, and we did level up. We've actually leveled up twice, so we're now level 3. So let's go ahead and accept his quest. He wants us to head over here, and he was hanging out with the burning bush. So there are a couple of different things, you know, from a lore standpoint or from a, I guess you could say, a Bible standpoint that are in the game. Now, one thing that's interesting about that is I don't know if that's something that's actually going to hurt the game or help the game, because you know, most gamers are kind of on the, you know, they want fantasy and, you know, Dungeons and Dragons and wizards and all that different stuff. And I know that's kind of being incorporated here, but I don't know if we're really going to see a big turnoff from players as far as, you know, the whole religious factor and stuff like that that's been involved in the game. I don't think there's too much because like we saw, it's really lighthearted and things like that. So I don't think there's a lot of religious overtones in the game. I just, you know, sometimes worry when you do put things in certain settings that some people will look upon them negatively. It's not something that I'm going to look upon negatively, but you just never know how people are going to react. So let's accept his new quest, and we've got a couple of different items. We actually got a new sword, so let's equip that, and then let's actually turn my character around. Let's get around, and we're going to see how the new armor looks on her, because we did get an armor upgrade. We're going to go ahead and open that container with the armor, and let's go ahead and equip that armor. And all the equipping is very simple, you know, just a right click, and it just equips all that item right onto your character. Now, one other thing that I was talking about, you know, how you can just normally click on somebody. This guy's pretty funny. He almost looks like a angelic Mr. T. But anyways, you know, like I can take and sometimes you can right click on a mob and you'll just run over to them and start attacking, or I can just start using my skills. With this game, unless you're a ranged DPS or have ranged attacks, you actually have to get up within range and then you can actually start attacking them. And you can see the game's got some different skill animations and stuff like that I was able to, you know, use my different skills and buff myself up with this Path of the Righteousness and complete that quest. 'Cause we only had to kill one guy. So let's get through that. But like you can see, the game does do a good job of walking you through the tutorial, giving you the basics of moving around and exactly what's going on in combat, and then also upgrading your equipment. And then this is going to give me some potions and things like that. And that's the end of the tutorial. We're actually now off to Purgatory City, and let's head in through this green gateway, and we will actually be in Purgatory City and get to see some of the stuff that's going on in there. Now, once we get in, I'm going to show you guys. You can probably see it right now, still up here at the top. And then there's also in the center, up in the top left corner, there's actually a counter. And essentially, that counter ticks upwards based upon the number of players on each side of the faction, whether it be on the heaven side or the hell side, for control of Limbo. Now, honestly, I don't know exactly what control of Limbo does, but it must be important because they have a control there. Maybe one of you guys who does know can comment and tell us exactly what control of Limbo is. But essentially, as a new character, I'm actually earning 7 points every single hour that I play towards my faction. So it's kind of a cool little way that the game is pushing to get people to play in the game and stay in the game. And you can see that counter just showed up, and actually the hell side is kicking the shit out of the heaven side. So looks like we need a lot more heavenly players. Then you also have these different the 7 deadly sins basically here. And when you look at the map, let's actually zoom out at the world map. These are actually different areas or different zones that you're going to be able to go into. And you can see these 2 are contested, and then these 5 are actually controlled by heaven. And now I don't know exactly what the ramifications are of controlling those. It just says right there, the zone is currently sacred heavenly ground. So I don't know if you get different bonuses and things like that. Maybe one of you guys who knows that can tell us that one also. So, but it seems pretty cool that there's all these little dynamic features excuse me, in the game that really kind of make, you know, control of those areas matter, you know, time played matter. All of those different things all of a sudden become very valuable pieces of the gameplay. So let's talk to this guy, turn in our quest, and he's going to give us another quest, and he wants us to go cleanse 5 derelicts, so basically one of our first fighting quests, and we actually did level up again. So let's assign some more statistics, and there we go. We're just going to put them all into strength so we can start hitting things a lot harder. And then let's talk to this guy, and we got to go get 5 divinity seals. And I think those come, if I remember correctly, they come from the actual derelicts. So we're going to cruise along. You can see you've got your different trainers, the diviner trainer, the guardian trainer, the crusader trainer, and then you've got a general goods vendor. So you've got, you know, kind of your basics to start out with, and then you've got kind of some more quests here that are going to lead you around the city. You know, go talk to Socrates and speak with the Archangel Michael in the Sin Nexus Park. What's really neat about the map is when you look on here, you can see these little red icons, the little O with the horns and then the halo over the top. Those are all quest givers, and so those guys all have quests for me. And then here's like Socrates, and then the other quest end spots or end characters that I have to go to, they're kind of in like the white or the yellow color. So it's kind of cool that they're denoted on the map. But let's jump in here and let's take out our 5 derelicts real quick and get them killed and the seals that we need. Now, as far as the skills are concerned, the skill system has a pretty good setup. We actually did get an item there that we want to equip, so much better than what we have. So we're going to go ahead and equip that, especially since what we have is nothing. So let's go ahead and keep killing these, and we'll talk about our skills. So let's open our skills. So essentially, the way that the the skill system works is you can train in these different skills, and you queue them up, and then essentially it tells you, like, when you go to queue them up, each of these take about 10 hours to queue up. We're gonna actually queue up Smite. You can see right there, it takes 10 hours. So it's kind of neat. It's kind of a cross between your kind of generic skill system and also kind of a time-lapsed skill training system. We're going to bring that up again, and we're actually going to train in Smite twice, get that up a little bit higher, because that skill comes in handy. It does a lot of damage. So let's take the loot here. I don't know what that was. A Scroll of Minor Insight. Actually, we do want to use that, because this Scroll of Minor Insight, you can see right there, gives us 1.25 times experience for the next 30 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and use that, because that'll be something that'll be definitely to our advantage. So let's turn around, take this guy out, because I think we got, what, 2 more of these? Yeah, and then we can go ahead and turn these quests in and move on with our day. So we got another sword, but I remember correctly, that's just a rusty long sword. It's the same as what we have. So we're obviously not going to see any, amazing weapons or anything like that very early on in the game. We're just going to get kind of the trash mob stuff, but that's kind of the basics that you always expect from the early gameplay. So we did complete our 2 quests, so we're going to head back and turn those in, and then I believe after we turn these in, the next quest leads us to our actual trainer, and we're going to be able to see exactly how some of the skill training works with our actual class trainer. So let's turn these in real quick and head over there, complete, and that's it there. And we did get a buff, it looks like, for that. Looks like, nope, we have Minor Insight, Path to Righteousness, that's us. Alright, we need to select that one, and then we're going to pick up that quest so we can go talk to our trainer. It looked like we got a buff, but actually it's just the scroll that I used and the other one. I don't know exactly why that created that crazy animation around my character. So deliver the artifact, let's hit accept, and you know what, but we want to do Crusader training. So now the way this works, as you can see, you essentially have these different tiers, and you've got different ones for all the different classes, and you can actually delve into these different other classes a little bit and take a look at them right in here. But you want to take and mainly use your skill trainer to to actually train your skills. So we're going to go ahead and we can't purchase that any higher right now, but we want to let's do Hobble, and let's purchase that. And you can see right here, as I add skill points, I'm gaining and getting higher and higher and higher, all the way up into the 5th circle, and then being able to use these much more powerful skills and stuff like that. So let's do this one, and this is going to open up our 2nd tier, and there we go, our 2nd tier is now open. So we're going to pick up that, and limited to circle 1. I'm still limited to circle 1, it seems like. So let's pick up volley, and it looks like this is actually 3 skill points, so I can't train in that. Let's see if there's any of these other ones that I want to pick up. Insufficient gold now. So actually I've run out of gold to do my training, but you get the basic idea of exactly how these trees work. You can pick up different skills, drop them into your hotbar, and use them as your as you're adventuring or as you're taking out the different derelicts or other creatures of the area. So one thing I have to say is I'm very impressed. I like the graphic style. It's something different. Kind of a mix between cartoony and realism. Definitely the environments definitely have a lot of realism to them. You can see like the water has some cool sheen on it and stuff like that. In the sky you can see there's some cool like swirls and almost like constellations and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. Musically and sound effects wise, I think they did a really good job as far as the game is concerned. I think the music is well done. It creates nice ambiance, and the sound effects are good, and you know they're not delayed. Obviously there's no translation issues because the game is Western developed and stuff like that, and it has none of the translation issues that sometimes you get with some of the other games out there that come from Eastern. You know, they're either developed in other languages and then translated, and then the translations are just not that good or whatever. But you know, so many times people don't really care about that. They just want to get in and kill stuff and have some fun with the game. So now the cool thing is Socrates does a good job of giving you all of these different quests, and they're essentially there to just move you around the city and around Purgatory and just find where different things are, because a lot of times there's a lot of other quests that are in certain areas. Now, I mean, obviously it definitely helps that, you know, you have the map that you can very easily take and just bring it up, and you can see here's a bunch of all the different people that Socrates wants me to go around and talk to, especially, you know, in here in the museum of oddities and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool, though. It's a good way to get a tour of Purgatory City, so you know where things are and you can see how stuff works and all that good stuff. So, but guys, I am out of time. I hope you enjoyed today's trip inside the den. Don't forget to subscribe and keep yourself updated as each new episode is released. And if you'd like to play or learn more about Faxion Online, you can read our full review at mmoden.com or just click the link in the description. Till next time, thanks for watching.